Welcome back to The Inspired Entrepreneur with Heather Hope. Hey guys, welcome back. Merry Christmas Eve to you. Happy Thursday. Okay, so if you're new here, and I'm noticing we have new people joining us every day, so that's pretty cool. Welcome. My name is Heather Hope, and I have been teaching the law of attraction, for a while, for 12, 13 years, somewhere like that. And anyway, so I wrote this book called The Inspired Entrepreneur, and it's 366 days of inspiration for the entrepreneur, for the business owner, for anybody who is self-employed. That can be actors, actresses, anybody who isn't working for someone else. But it's also because it has a lot of general law of attraction messages and money as well. So it is basically for everybody. So you can pick that up on Amazon. The link is down below. But this podcast is a daily podcast. And so the way that I wrote this book, it's a lot of, about 2/3 of the book are Facebook posts that I have written over the past 2 years. And I just put it all in a book. And then I added about 1/3 of the book this year while I was writing this book. And it was just such an incredible fun feeling when I was doing it. I was in my element, that is for sure. So the podcast is, since the daily messages in the book are very short, the podcast is just me basically talking more about them. So here we go. Today is December 24th. We are still in the year 2020. If you're listening to this next year or at any time, it's all relevant. It's not time specific. Maybe the things I talk about are, but I try not to. Let's get started. So today's message is, once you feel at peace and feeling good, you will be able to follow the thoughts that come into your mind. Those thoughts are from source. Listen to them. Notice them. Pay attention to them. Take the inspired action. Bam, manifestation. So here's the deal. We are always in the receiving mode. We're always receiving. We're constant receivers. So what are we receiving? What are we if I can talk, what are we receiving as messages? Now, it's all determined by how we feel. So if we're in a crappy mood, which I was this morning, I was just annoyed with a bunch of things. And then I softened up and got better. But when you're in a crappy mood, you will receive what you're feeling, right? You'll receive more crappy thoughts and more things that are not in alignment with source. So the law of attraction just brings more of whatever you're feeling. That's why what you're feeling is really important. What you think about and what you feel are the most important things. So if you can get yourself in a good feeling place by thinking good thoughts, you will be a receiver of good things. And what is in your vortex? Good things. All the things that you want in your life are in your vortex, right? So the only thing that you really have to do is get into a good feeling place, in a good feeling mood. And you will receive the messages, you'll receive the thoughts. So I know when I'm in a good feeling place, when I'm feeling good, like at the very least content with what's going on, or just content in the moment, I know that if thoughts start popping in my mind just out of the blue, I really need to follow them, because when I do, manifestations occur. So what I think, and I've thought this for quite a while now, that a lot of people don't understand this with the law of attraction. They don't understand this in life, but how just thoughts, like these thoughts, they don't really mean anything, or they're not going to lead to anything, or I just dismiss them, or I poo poo on them. I don't think I've ever said that before, but you know what I mean? Like, so many people will get thoughts and then they'll push them away, or they'll say, no, that could never happen, or no, that's not going to work out like that, or they just dismiss them. So if you're, the only time to dismiss thoughts really is when you're in a crappy mood. And that's usually the time that we don't dismiss our thoughts, right? So if we're in a good place and you're getting thoughts that are good, right? Good thought, or just thoughts, right? Because in that moment you may not know if it's good or bad, or something to follow or not, but it all depends on how you're feeling. If you're feeling in a good place, or really happy or excited, let's amp this up. Let's say you're feeling really good. You've got yourself in a good place, in a loving, really positive vibration. Then that's what you will attract. You'll attract thoughts or things to actually happen. And when you attract those thoughts, I'm telling you 100% follow them. Do as much as you possibly can. Do whatever you can. If you're just driving down the street, just kind of almost aimlessly just chilling, and you get a thought to turn. You get a thought to go somewhere and check something out, go do that. I'm telling you, I just love days. I love if I'm out driving around or going somewhere and I get another thought. And if I'm in a really good mood, I have learned to follow whatever comes in my mind, especially if it's strong. But even if it's not strong, it doesn't matter. Just follow it. See where it leads you. Because I can't tell you how many things I've found at like various stores, or people I run into, or whatever, or another thought, just because I followed what came in my mind. Because these thoughts come from somewhere. Like, your thoughts come from somewhere. So if you're in a good place, they're coming from source, and source knows where everything is that you want. So if there's something on your list that you just can't seem to find ever, and you just randomly, like, feels like random, that you just think about going into this one store that you haven't been in like 6 months because you just don't care to, and you go in there, and then boom, you find the thing that you haven't found in 6 months or a year, right? I did that a while back. Like, I do that all the time. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. That's how you manifest. So there's a lot of people out there that just, they say, man, like, law of attraction doesn't work for them, blah, blah, blah. But if you dig deeper with them, it's really only because they don't truly understand. That's why I've been telling people for a couple of years now, dig deeper. Dig deeper into how this really works. Because it goes so much further than just writing things down and hoping. You know what I mean? It's literally follow the thoughts that pop in your head when they pop in your head. Because it's source telling you, it's telling you what to do, which is what you want. You want source to tell you, because source knows where it is, where the things that you want are, and how to get you there. So it may lead you, like last night, for instance, I had my, oh, here's a perfect plug. I just thought of this when I started the podcast too. My 30 days to manifest your success journal. It's always in my meditation room, but we know, like, I am not always in my meditation room. So for like last night, I was in my office like all night, and I kept getting this thought, go get your journal, go get your journal. And I've been doing it in there. I'm like, go to get your journal. You've already kind of meditated while you're like taking a nap, and you were visualizing when you woke up from your nap. And so you did the first 3 things. Go get your journal and do the 3rd thing, and do it from your desk. That's what I kept thinking that all night. And like, it's just this random thing that I never thought of before. Like, go get that, bring it back in here. Because if it's in my meditation room, it usually stays in there. My journal stays in there. Everything stays in there. So I'm like, okay, fine, let's go do it. So I just go around the corner. And as I'm walking to my meditation room, I realize I feel this really cold draft. And I'm like, holy crap, why is it so cold? And I go in, I'm like, oh, I forgot that my window was open in the meditation room because it was warmer. It was warm in there in the morning when I was in there. And I opened up the window, and the window in my meditation room doesn't have a screen. I have like shutters on that window, but I don't have a screen on that window. So I only open it for like, a couple of inches for as long as I'm in there. And I always tell myself, please remember to shut the window. And yesterday I forgot to shut the window. And so it got really cold in there, but also, I don't want that window open. I mean, I live in the desert. There's like creepy crawlies everywhere. So, and animals and stuff. So, like there was a coyote that popped his head right in front of that window. It's the window is part of my front all kinds of, I don't know, the front of the house. So a coyote, when I was sitting there one day, a couple months ago, a coyote peeked in, the head right there, ground level. And I was just like sitting there like, oh, hey. So anyway, that's why I don't leave the window open very far or open very big. And I always tell myself, please remember to shut this thing when you're done, because I don't want anything coming in. So I just was like, God, just another little example of how I love how Source guides us. Because yes, I did need to do the third part because I'm on day 2. I started a new journal, my 30 days to manifesting your success journal. I started another one 3 days ago. So I wanted to stay consistent. And so that was the only thing I needed to do yesterday to mark that off my list. And so it just kept bothering me to go get it. Just go get it. And there it is. And there's my window open and it's freezing cold. So anyway, so that's how, that's one way that your inner guidance, your broader perspective, the larger part of you that is Source, guides you, like tells you, like gets you like to go find something that you need to go do or get or whatever. Like, yes, that solved 2 things. I could have just said no, but I am really being committed to doing several things every day, every single day, because I know how insane they work, how amazing they work. And the 30 days is one of those things. So I'm being more disciplined in that because I know it's a wonderful thing. So it got me to go in there to grab my journal at the same time. Oh yeah, shut the window, please, before the whole house is like freezing to death. So anyway, I just love stuff like that because it's just that nudge. Sometimes it's really strong and sometimes it's really faint. It's probably depending on how important it is, but not always, because I've manifested like really cool, important things with just like the smallest thought. And all I did was just act on it. That's inspired action. That's the definition of inspired action. When you have inspiration, the thought, right? The thought, and you act on it, that's inspired action. It's not just taking action just for the sake of taking action. That's not inspired. Does that make sense? Okay, guys. So I'm going to let you go. So you can be with whoever you're with today. Have a really great Christmas Eve. And I will be back tomorrow, guys. Bye-bye.